speeches during the debate. Exception has been given for precision in statement of what? Of fact. Does it make sense? I hope you understand that. So anytime you realize a member is reading speeches, you need to know that's out of order. Number 5.
Stage for speaking after the question has been proposed and before it is put, signifying end of debate.
What does it mean? It means that there are two ceilings. There is question being proposed by the speaker, and there is the other ceiling is the speaker puts the question. In between is what you call the debate. You understand? The debate is proposing the question and putting the question. A member cannot contribute to any matter after the question has been done and used. And I'm very sure, as a speaker's panel, you must have been hearing members at point of order when the question has been put. They are actually out of what? Out of order themselves. So if a member says, point of order, the speaker, and you put a question, and you know the question is, will have made a similar people say, once that has been done, there are only 2 options. One is whether there is a contestation of whether the eyes of the nays won. You know the division. Members will rise up, and then you will be able to collect the numbers, blah, blah, blah. You know that part. But the other part is when a member just decided to be rowdy. But they just want to bring confusion. That is where the speaker will take charge. Say, honorable member, you know very well the standing order says that once a question has been put, it brings an end to the matter. Next order, simple like that. In fact, you just ignore, because you know that there is nothing that that member is doing, because our standing order speaks very well. If there is an issue that you are not convinced with the results, then the other is you should have done a campaign for people to do what? To rise up so that you can be able to call for division. Is that okay, Tony? The other one, gentlemen?
Number 6, speaking frequency. Only once to a question, stroke motion. It has exceptions.
Only once. Don't miss it that one. It's only once. You can only speak once. And of course, the exception now the matters point of order, so that then you can be able to raise point of order, but you do not, in that point of order, you don't introduce new one, new facts. Oh, sorry. Going to number 7. Number
7 points of order.
Yes.
Indicate the specific standing order. Persistent and frivolous points of order constitute disorderly conduct, punishable under the standing order.
Yes. You understand that? So, and I want you to go back to the assembly of Mumbai on Tuesday, 14, Valentine's Day. I hope, yeah? Migori, sorry. I hope you are going to put on, I hope you know it's, Nile Tare, Eunice, Nile Tare. Nile Tare. Nile Tare. Migori people, Nile Tare, Chacha Nile Tare. So, wakati mnafungua bunge, anatarajia mtakuja kwa hiyo form. Hata mtasema hivi, wanaume mkikosa kitu nyekundu, tembea tu na hiki kitu. Tembea tu na hiki kitu. As you go to that day, I want you to put the house in order. Any member who is going to rise on point of order, on their face, honorable member, can you clarify to us which standing order has been broken? Simple and clear. But then you just say that and just be firm on that. Just firm on that. And looking at the person directly. Honorable member, you've listened on point of order, which standing order has been broken. Simple. Now, nyamaza tu. Akitaka kuongea, no. I am asking you a question. Can you go through the standing order so that there is complete mastery of the standing order? I did that, my friend, and within the next 2 or 3 months, before you say point of order, that's the one you choose. so that we have an orderly running of the assembly. Number 8.
Consultations in the chamber. Disruptive consultations not permitted. Member who acts as such will be ordered to withdraw.
What statement do you normally make when members are consulting? It's a statement, it's a parliamentary language.
Consulting loved ones.
That's what you call parliamentary language. Honorable Member Chen, can you consult in low tone in a manner that you are giving respect and honor to this house? But if you keep on yelling, it is gross disorder, and of course, you will be able to say that you are out of order and so forth. Number 9.
Personal statement. By the indulgence of the assembly speaker to explain matters of a personal nature.
No debate or question put. You know statement? So if you have a personal statement as a member, and you think that you really, first of all, for a personal statement to come, it must be approved by the speaker. So they are personal statement that you know it will not go through. If your personal statement is kuku kapanda by scale, it has nothing to do with it. Yes, you know, you look at, because let me tell you, a very good personal statement would have been, what would be one of the personal statements that would interest. Because you see, when you are discussing issues on the assembly, you are addressing the Gori County at large. So what could be some of the, and then again, when you are choosing the personal statement, you should not be able to downgrade yourself. You should not be able to see things taking advantage of the chamber. Okay? So personal statement should be one that it has a connection with the functioning of county assembly. It has some connection. And something again, it could be again, it could be, I am speaking on behalf of others. This is something that is likely to be affecting other members, okay? But then again, the speaker has the latitude to ask a member to do what? Ventilate. Remember the word ventilate. So, remember, I think, can I give 5 minutes for a member to ventilate on the statement that has been raised by the member? Ventilate. There is no question put, proposed, and there is no question put, but ventilating. So, and you need to guide the members. You know, sometimes again, when you give members to ventilate, they begin debating. So you need to say, hey, member, I have given you the latitude to ventilate. To ventilate, honorable member, is I'm giving you an opportunity to catch a feeling on what the member is saying. As in, give us your opinion. Okay? But it's not a debate, because a debate, there is a winner and there is a loser. Very, very. I hope you have understood that. So you need to guide members every time there's a personal statement, but the speaker, you must be very, very, very strict in approval of personal statement. Because you remember, the chamber is addressing, remember I said that, remember, and I think you will say, remember, there is what you call thematic areas. The thematic areas are legislation, representation, and the matters that are going to be handled in the chamber must be within those thematic areas. So anytime you are bringing your own personal statement, must somehow find its way integrated in those thematic areas. Okay? Otherwise, you cannot say the Honorable Speaker, I rise up on a personal statement. On 14th of February 2023, Honorable Speaker, I just missed a flower to be given by one of the staff. I demand to understand why I was not given a flower. My friend, it doesn't have anything to do with anything to do with thematic area. That's why I'm saying the speaker must be able to confirm that this is something worth being addressed. Sometimes the personal statement are issues that can be discussed at Kamkuchi. Look at it. Yeah, some. And of course, you know, sometimes the importance of those issues of welfare, you know, to small welfare. It's very, very important. And if you have an issue with the CC or E, whatever, the wisdom of the speaker is to the effect that do we really need to admit this thing in the chamber? Or we can be able to allow this off the cuff. Yes.
I now understand. Last week we had a sitting, and I remember a member stood up. There were no more other businesses.
Yes.
We were just about to adjourn.
Yes.
Then a member rose up point of order,
yes,
to be given time to be near a personal statement.
yes.
And I remember the speaker telling the member that for him, he must have presented that personal statement to the speaker.
Oh, yes.
3 hours before.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And I actually brought a lot of borrow protection and they were quarreling. And this is a senior member who is having his second term. But I now remember why the speaker shut him down and told him that he would not give him that particular.
And I can give you the answer. Simple. When a member rises like that, simple thing for the speaker. You don't even have to. Just go to the point, starting order that says, honorable member, may I refresh your mind? May I refresh your thoughts? May I help you to understand? Standing order number XY demands that any member who has a personal statement must submit that statement 3 hours. Honorable member, did you? And the member was tongue-tied. And there is a mambo mingi, but just stick to what you have. Did you? Did you? Just the only thing you tell the member, I mean, if your house is not burning, my office is still open, there's the next sitting, follow the standing order, bring it within 3 hours, I will consider, and we move on. Because this is not a marketplace, this is a house of rules and order. You will have achieved 2 things. One is to put that member to where you belong, and you have already expelled the list. Going forward, abandon this. Things have to be done. You see, that kind of thing. Now, standing order number 81.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Personal statement.
Yes.
There are verbal statement. Oral, I mean oral.
What is oral? No, everything has to be. There's nothing that can be.
I just give a statement that did not follow the procedures.
Who is the owner of the house? Who is the owner of the house? We could use a very good example. Assume that Eunice is my wife, and all of you are my children. The person who knows what will be served on the table is who? Who knows that what is going to be served to all of you? It is the wife, the mother. Okay? So she is the one. Can you assume that in between everything, today we were eating chicken, and so, all of a sudden, a stew, mutton stew is served? What will we be asking? Who cooked, who brought, and what is it? Because you are in charge. You cannot allow an oral. You cannot allow anything to happen in the chamber without your knowledge. Simple. You can. Let me tell you. Remember that gentleman here, engineer, and together with other technocrats are captured this thing in answered. Things that has been captured in answered. You do not want a member to begin spelling doom. Captured online, and you cannot retract. Okay? So Toby, you cannot allow any member to begin speaking your own things that has not been approved by the speaker. Because that is your house. Remember I said yesterday, you nyumba ni yako. It ni hayako. Just the way ladies are in charge of the kitchen and the dining, so is the speaker in charge of what? The children. Standing order number 91.
Supposing, for example, I'm representing a particular ward.
Yes.
And in the course of the day, while in the house, I receive an information over some uncertainty in the ward that is very sensitive and needs attention, immediate attention. Then I rise on the point of order to actually give this oral statement to the house.
I would stand order with the standing. And you know what standing order means? Point of order means you are correcting a course. You know, point of order is you're correcting a course. To look to never happen, and then you're free to the bumps. Point of order. So, point of order, because what you are trying to do, you're using the point of order to introduce something new. Which in itself is out of order. In itself is again out of order. But you have very good intention. All that you need to do is that anything that happens, you must notify the speaker in advance. You know why? Because the speaker, let me tell you, the speaker in standing order number 1 can give the latitude can give the latitude and say, honorable members, actually the speaker can turn your issue from being your issue to become the issue of the assembly. Honorable members, you are aware that there are a swarm of bees landed in four companies or 4 schools. And you know that that is within the word of Honorable Eunice. And I wanted to give members just to give us to ventilate and to speak about it, covered by the speaker. Okay? All that I'm trying to tell you, you cannot be taking a meal of the daily. All of us are eating very precious chicken, ugali, and another milk. And from nowhere, your child comes to soda. From nowhere, what do? First of all, you tell the child, no, listen, this is dinner time. We are taking what has been served. The one that you are talking about soda is good, but it can be served another time. The same applies. So you cannot allow anything to be done in the name of it's a rush. No. And in the worst case scenario, inform the speaker. If there is anything but what is it that can happen that it can disrupt, unless what? But of course, unfortunate case. Of course, the basic unfortunate case, and you know those unfortunate cases, a demise of somebody, probably a demise of a member, God forbid, a demise of a government official within the county. That still will cease from being your issue. You can communicate with the speaker, and the speaker can be able to disrupt even the proceeding and be able to bring that. And that's what number one. Understand?
So members just allowed while in the house, you see, when you get an information, you're allowed just to move, walk.
Why? I think you have a paper. You have a certain terms that are wrong.
Right.
You can answer right. There is an issue that has happened.
Yes.
No, there's an issue that has happened.
Yes.
Certainly, one of our members has been involved in a terrible accident, and it's intensive ICU for your knowledge. So the speaker will, in his own wisdom, 2 things will happen. He will ask somebody to come to the court. Who will follow you? It's you. Because you are the one who raised the issue.
Yes.
So there's a level in court. That's what I'm saying. Do not mechanize that. Let it be as natural as possible. We know we are not slaves.
Yes.
We should not be enslaved. But it's not a market. So we are not slaves, but it's not a market. Yes. You know, it comes up very well. You write a note. Just write a note and allow the speaker to have the note through the procedure. Yeah. Is that okay? Yes.
Wanted to ask about what the speaker use, because you see how our standing orders is structured, and if we do that in 81.
Oh, I have not read it well, sorry. By the indulgence of the County Assembly, a member may explain matters of personal nature, although there is no question before the Assembly, but such a matter may not be debated. Yes.
Yeah,
For the
when a
knowledge.
member says, like you said that speaker must give 3 hours notice, but there it's not indicated.
Pardon?
You said when a member wants to
Yes.
give a personal statement,
Yes.
he must inform speaker.
Yes.
And a member argued like, from our standing order, for a personal statement, it is not restricted that I must go to the speaker.
3 hours.
3 hours before that, and informing on the matter of my personal information. And we argue that every time a member may rise to issue a personal statement, what is the backing up of the speaker? That at least I need to know.
Standing order number 41. Notwithstanding standard number 28, hours of meeting, the speaker shall interrupt the business of the County Assembly every Tuesday 6 p.m. to facilitate members to make general statement of topical concern. Okay? Number 2, a member who wishes to seek leave to raise a matter under this standing order shall, before 3 p.m. on the day the statement is to be made, and to the speaker a written notification of the matter, but the speaker shall refuse to allow the request unless satisfied that the matter may properly be discussed in the County Assembly. Number 3, no member making a statement under this standing order shall speak for more than 2 minutes unless with the permission of the speaker. So, am I ending anyway? But am I ending towards? First of all, I think that was first of all, I think clarified a lot of things. So starting order number 41, okay? So that when you are doing those statements, you need to know that now there is a specific time that has been allocated on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Because it is expected that the sitting is 2:30 and the speaker can be able the standing order is reserved at 6 p.m. in the evening for members to be able to read. But still, you must have done what? Done a statement and written to the speaker. 6 p.m. and it shall be before 3 p.m. You know what 3? How many hours?
Yeah.
So can you work from 3 to 6? How many hours? 3 to 6. How many hours?
3.
But it's
3 hours.
yes, that's where the 3 hours are coming from. Now, you know, I knew, by the way, I knew where you were heading because you were looking for, you must have given 3 hours. So I knew you were looking for the 3 hours. But you see now, this time I answered you technically, saying the statement is at 6. Give notice at 3. How many hours are those?
3
hours. That's what I'm telling you. They are simply has made it so easy for you to administer everything. Only complete mastery of the science. If you understand the standing order, it makes your work very easy. You rise up, the honorable member, first you all listen, once upon 21. Honorable members, you want to make a personal statement. Today is a Thursday, 2:30. You know standing order number 41 says, if you want to make a statement, personal statement will be made on which day, honorable member, and time. So I want to help you to understand, honorable member. Standing order number 41, and I can actually read it. I can take, honorable member, may I take the trouble to read it for you? You know somebody will be so ashamed. That's exactly how it's supposed to go. So that then, politely you are creating humor, but you are teaching. Unaumba na kupuliza. That's exactly what happened. Salome, I'm sure you are perfectly contented. 3 hours. So, sasa wewe kwa hiyo standing order yako, number 1 to 3, number 4, uandike 3 hours. Ndio ishikane. Very good. That's why, my brother, mastery of standing order. So you cannot expect the members to have a mastery of standing order. Ikiwa wewe mwenyewe hapa haujashika. And there is nothing bad. Anybody who is a teacher of whatever kind, Sunday school, whatever, for your students to seem to be having extra knowledge all the time. Salome, it's from that.
Number 10.
Yes.
Anticipating debate. Nabil motion. Out of order to anticipate the debate of a bill which has been published as such in the Gazette or motion of which notice has been given.
That number 82. It shall be out of order to anticipate the debate of a bill which has been published as such in the County Assembly Gazette by discussion upon the substantive motion or an amendment by raising the substantive matter. Let me tell you what that means, short and clear. You cannot, if a notice has been given for a motion or an approval of appointment of CCs, a notice has been given or gazetted, you cannot give adjournment motion because you want so that this motion will not take place. You understand? So you cannot anticipate a motion. You remember what the former CS of security, Matia, he has gone to court to sue for anticipatory bail. What Matia is saying, I anticipate that the police are likely to arrest me. So you go to court and ask the court to protect you, yeah, so that then so that anybody cannot be able to come. So somehow you have a caveat, okay? Anticipatory means you cannot bring an anticipatory motion, having knowledge that this motion is so that you can be able to restrain substantive motions that have been already and notice have been given. That's grafting. So if the appointment of the CC's approval is on Thursday afternoon, you cannot give an anticipatory motion to bar the debate today. Yet it has been published, noticed, and gazetted. That's the point. Yeah. Very clear. Your information is good. And starting order number 82. It shall be out of order to anticipate the debate of a motion of which notice has been given. So now, notice has been given by discussion upon a substantive motion or an amendment by raising the same subject matter upon a motion of the adjournment of the County Assembly. In determining whether a debate is out,
All members, Mr. Speaker.
Morning.
Morning, brother.
You can sit down.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Sana namba 90 Mheshimiwa Speaker, we continue.
Let's proceed.
Yes. Now, anticipating debate number 3, standing order number 82. In determining whether a debate is out of order on the grounds of anticipation, regard shall be had to the probability of the matter anticipated being brought before the County Assembly within a reasonable time. Long and short of it, you cannot approve an anticipatory motion that is restraining the House from debating a matter whose notice of motion or gazettement has been done. And a good example is if a notice of motion has been given for approval of the CCs on Thursday, you cannot bring a motion that is touching the subject. You're not touching the subject today, because that is a substantive motion. You remember the substantive motion is what? Approval of the CCs. You cannot be crafty and bring a motion similar to that in the name of you want to begin influencing members on the determination of the fate of that motion. That's very, very important. Number 11. Salome.
Difference conduct of person not in the assembly is out of order except upon a substantive motion which at least 3 days notice.
So reference to conduct of person not in the assembly is out of order except what do you mean? Even in court, naming of somebody who has no right of reply. That's exactly what it means. And the speaker should be able to call members, honorable member, you know, it's out of order for you to discuss an individual, a Kenyan, who has no right of reply to be able to do that unless there is, of course, a substantive motion has been given. E.g., if you want to discuss about a CC for finance, the standing order does not allow members to begin discussing the CC of finance unless there is a substantive motion touching on the conduct of the CC. That is now you can be able to know. And that's very important for you to instill discipline. Because members sometimes they can be able to debate out of feelings. Just feeling, now attitude. Now attitude, no, remember. You know what the law says? You must be able to discuss, bring a substantive motion if you want to ask to discuss the conduct of the member that you're doing. Otherwise, you're out of order. And you can be able to mention the same order. About 12.
Matters already decided in the same session cannot be reintroduced except upon a motion to be signed with the earlier edition.
Very good. What standing order says about 6 months? Which standing order is that? Yeah, what it means is that you cannot be able to bring a similar motion of the same content to be discussed within, is it 6 months or within the same session? It is 6 months, right? So once an issue has been, and that is where now the gentleman, the guy for ICT, I'm expecting in your website for the County Assembly, you have what you call motion tracker. So motion tracker, you will be able to get, and then you work in cohorts with the implementation committee, so that then you can keep track or matters that have been discussed in budgets of 6 months. So there are 2 levels. You can have a budget of 6 months, bundles, in fact the right word is bundle, a bundles of 6 months for purpose of this standing order, or a bundles of 3 months for purpose of implementation committee. Because implementation committee will be able to report to the House the implementation status of everything that has been passed by the House within 90 days. Is it 90 days? 90 days, Solomon?
60 days.
60 days. So you have a bundle, you reduce to 6. Or in a 60, yeah. So you have a bundle of 60 days for purpose of what? Implementation committee. And you have a bundle of 6 months for purpose of ensuring that you do not beat the same because it's out of order. Yes, sir.
While we are still at that, I want to be helpful here. The thing for all of us, it's a matter important to us. We have an act in the Migori County Assembly, an act passed by the Migori County Assembly, on agriculture, and especially to do with some factory in the county. Now, the CEC developed regulations for the same, and they were brought to the assembly, and they were processed, committed to the committee, relevant committee.
Which is Committee of Dedicated?
Yeah, and the report done, it was brought as a motion in the county assembly. But somehow, they had violated certain aspects of the constitution, including public participation. So, I actually was the first contributor, and the chair had already indicated the violation. So, I very firmly stated that I opposed the motion. And then now it raised concern. And finally, the speaker in his wisdom stood the motion down so that further consultation could be done. So, in the course of that consultation, I've learned that the aspects that were missing, including public participation, has been done already. Then we were now fearing that if this motion, is defeated, it will take 6 months. Some arguing it will not take 6 months because if another regulation comes, it will come as a new regulation. I was wondering, the regulation is on the same, factory, and the same act. Would that not mean it's the same motion that was defeated? So it will have to wait for 6 months. Then it was not so clear to me. So I was really wondering how we can go about it, because if the regulation is passed, it will give the county an opportunity to begin, effectively running the factory in question. So I don't know what you can advise us. Do we now bring the motion and say what was violated? How can the motion come back now? Can it come back with now the violation having been deleted, or what? What can happen in that case?
We have a motion of impeachment of Speaker Albert, the impeachment of a clerk, who is myself. And the motion will ask many have some opinion that this House adopt the committee, appointment committee of impeachment of the clerk Albert Koche, say aye, aye. Will ask many of Semnar say nay, nay, the ayes have it. Clerk Albert, you stand impeached. Process of impeachment starts. Honorable member, this House will seize the matter. There is an appointment committee that is tabling a report of recruitment of a new clerk in the name of Simon Odek. Will ask many of the similar opinion say aye, aye. Similar to Conrad say nay, nay, the ayes have it. And my question is this: do we need to wait for 6 months to get another clerk?
No.
Hear that? So you remove the clerk and you clear that part. Then the procedure is that we brought another clerk, and you cannot be saying we were discussed the same matter previously. Okay? So that is totally different. I want you first of all to understand the motion that can be able to be brought immediately. Okay? So that's one. Now let's now come to where you are. The issue at hand is a regulation. Regulation, eh?
Yes.
and the regulation is touching on the factory.
Yes.
So same factory, same committee, and your fear is that if you don't do, and that's where now the legal majority plays a very critical role. If you don't do your proper lobbying, you fear that the house can shoot down what?
No,
Shoot down what?
the committee had recommended
Yes,
that we annul the regulation.
that's okay.
Yes.
So the committee has actually agreed that we are fearing the way things are, we annul the regulation. And therefore,
So the House was going to defeat the motion.
and they are going to, the house is to defeat to mean that they will be in agreement with the committee to annul.
Yes.
Okay.
So then we were fearing
That you will not get a chance to bring it in. Okay.
but some of the
You
matters,
know the problem, you guys, you are state managing that issue.
some of the matters that were in contention,
Yes.
including PP, has already been done.
Yes.
So the Speaker in his wisdom stood down the motion
Yes.
for further consultation.
Yes.
So we're wondering, how do we bring the motion now?
To bring another, so do you want to bring another regulation?
No, the same motion was.
The same motion.
I mean, now we were wondering how to bring it back. Is it the same motion? Can we amend it so that it now can pass?
The best thing, now I understand. The best thing,
Yeah.
because Speaker, you still have the latitude. Yes.
So the order 47 still give the speaker the leeway.
And actually, that's why I said. That's why I said, okay, Kumba, we are from the same.
Assembly.
That's what I was myself. Kumba, you guys, mko hivi, Kumba sisi tuko here. Kumba sisi ni watu wa Oxford. So Kumba. Yeah, I had forgotten that Speaker, that Kumba is my student. No motion may be moved which is the same in the substance as any question which has been resolved either in the affirmative or in the negative during the preceding 6 months in the same session. Despite paragraph 1, a motion to receive the decision on such a question may be moved with the permission of who? Of who? B. A motion to receive the decision on a question on a special motion shall not be allowed. Now, in fact, I wanted to conclude with this. That's why I was a lot of before. I wanted to conclude with this. But it gives the latitude to the speaker. One, you see, you already understand the technicality that happen. You already, and that technicality is a matter of law. It's a matter of law. It's not just frivolous. It's substantive, and somebody could have even gone ahead and actually challenge it. That there is no public perspective, and you have seen everybody goes to court now.
Yeah.
So you are anticipating a danger, and you want to cure it. Okay. So in that case, remember the standing order first of all says that take your time before you put the question, because once you put the question, it closes the business. Okay. This time round, you are taking your time by saying, let us first of all not go into putting the question. Let's resolve some issue in between. And therefore, that's this standing order. Based on that, the speaker will give a ruling. First thing, you need to prepare a thorough ruling so that the speaker can be able to guide the house and give it the chronology. What happened? And allowing members, therefore, to be able to bring that issue based, because you can also say the issues of public perception had not been done, and you can mention again in your ruling that aware that the standing order says that once an issue blah 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 6 months, and then you make reference to this that the speaker has a latitude. And secondly, we want to ensure that the laws that we are going to pass here will not be challenged in court, and that is where the speaker can allow that issue to be brought.
But the goodness is the motion has not been concluded.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That you are taking necessary precaution before you put the question.
Okay.
Yes, and that is where it gives. That's what I'm telling you. If you only understand the standing order, you will not travel as a speaker. That's that. Because everything that happened, and I will still want to use the kitchen. The mother and the wife and the lady of the house virtually understand even where the spoon today is. And I do about the spoon in the where it is. Mastery of the environment that you belong. Understand? Yeah. She understands where the spoon, sufuria gani ya githeri iko wapi, sufuria ya chai iko wapi. You know that kind of mastery. Mm. The same mastery is within the environment you operate in. The counter assembly. Mastery of this. Because it knows where the spoon is, it knows where the tea leaves is, it knows where the sugar is. This one. It answers everything regarding the administration of the assembly. This thing. Mastery goes to the cornerstone. Number 14, 13.
Members questioning proceedings. Improper for a member to criticize or call.
No. Number 13. Yes.
Parliamentary language. Limiting to the integrity of assembly or casting aspersions or inputting proper motive on other members.
You understand, eh? So you cannot be personal, it's just decorum. That's a matter of decorum. And that's where you'll be able to rubber stamp. You know, there are some areas that you rubber stamp authority. One of them is this. And member, you could be laughing around with a certain member. But when you sit here, you give a face that is not the other one that will come and check. Honorable unit, you are absolutely out of order. Blah, 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 blah. With families. I was looking for that word, families. Number 14?
Can I ask?
Yes.
It's assumed that the speaker is not just blind but also deaf. Now, if such a matter, somebody puts an improper motive or casts aspersions on a member, can the speaker resolve?
Yes. That's your house. You cannot again. Remember again, let me tell you. Remember again, it is what? Answer. Capturing your house. Imagine capturing nyumba yako, where everybody is saying everything, and you're just waiting at the members to raise point of order. Okay? So you need to know that there are statements that were made. That is your house. You cannot allow it to go that direction. You cannot allow it to go that direction. Completely. Yeah, that is where standing on a number and cheer. Did I not say? You have a whole protection for matters of procedural question. So you must be able to. Because remember, that is your house. Always. Remember, speaker, when you are sitting here, that is your house. You cannot allow anybody to come and mess with Kwangu. That is where my performance KPI, key performance indicator, are measured here at the performance that we are doing. So you cannot allow any member to impute improper motive or casting aspersions. Can you imagine honorable member to rise up and say, Honorable Speaker, in the next 3 weeks, we are going to organize a mega coup in this country. And you can assure you, we are going to engage the military to bring down the President of the Republic of Spain. Now, and you are there waiting for point of order. I'm waiting for somebody to point of order. My friend, that is your house. You cannot allow anybody to make statement that can actually bring what you call disgrace. That's the right word, disgrace to the house that you are going to. And because you see again the next thing, somebody can even ask you, Honorable Speaker, and today we are no longer private. The public, social media, and the next thing, it will be the headline nation page 1. Page 1. The county assembly will be going, approve a motion. They can even turn the whole thing, approve the motion, to be able to organize, to lead the coup in the country. And then of course you will not be dealing with the damages that has come. The other one?
Number 14, members questioning proceedings. Improper for a member to criticize or call question proceeding or speaker's ruling.
Yes. So you cannot be able to query the speaker's ruling. And that speaker, you must make it very clearly. They can run up and about. Most of the time, people who are raising issues on the speaker's ruling are the people who have issues with the speaker. However, what you need to do, on some instances, you can be able to make a ruling, and I'm sure, Speaker, you must have seen, you make a ruling and allow member to ventilate. You know, there are things that you just want your member to ventilate, especially if it was an issue that was affecting the members, and you took the matter and said, can I give a ruling on this? You can allow members to ventilate. Just, that's what I'm telling you. It's not so much again about knowledge. It's about again the interpersonal relationship. It's a communication skills. It's just ensure that you onboard everybody, but you know what you're doing. Well, already what you're doing. Yeah, it's very, very important, so that you can allow. So that again, people should not feel you are a dictator. No, they should not feel like you are dictating to them.
So this should happen before the ruling.
No, you keep the ruling, then they talk about the ruling. Because you keep the ruling, then you allow member. I have given this ruling. Honorable member, I think I can allow 2 or 3 of you to ventilate or not have said. But again, you have the latitude to proceed. Okisha Marita na ruling, combination to speaker, chair, the next, and then the clerk will be mentioned in the other order. Yeah, so you have the latitude. And of course, you unasema, unasoma temperature. Kuna temperature zingine unaona, wacha let me allow this guy to speak. And then sometimes when you allow them, they feel good. They feel like hata ni wao walichangia hiyo kitu umaandika. And let me tell you, there's nothing good as a speaker to give a ruling, and when you make it, everybody needs to say, yeah, we are doing it. You know, it validates you. You know, it validates you. Yeah. Also, Honorable Speaker, we are very happy. We are very happy, Mr. Speaker. You are very, very, very happy for the ruling that you made, Speaker. You have made everything smooth. Yeah? Position, but remember, some of these rulings, you end up with them and you pick their mind. You pick their mind, include with the law. What does the law say? Look at the president. Yeah? You may want to call me, you may want to call waiter, you may want to call anybody. Yeah, on matters of procedure. And I am aware, sometimes I have been quite a number of your colleagues on matters of procedure. I think we normally talk with them. Just you know, on a friendly speaker, you know, you keep him beneficia. Yeah, I can tell you, oh yeah, kamana, lima your future, and you lead that. So work smart as a speaker. Just work smart. But the first thing in the person relationship, know how to remember you are not leading cows. And when they are human beings, you are not leading preachers. You are a politician. And politicians can agree this is a cow. Will as many Arab Saudi of this is a cow say, and they will do it. So you must be able to strictly follow the law so that things can be able to go forward.
Restriction and apologies. Withdrawal of improper language upon an order by the speaker. Refusal is a disorderly conduct.
Which is that one number? The one for no, the one for apology. I did it. I think it's the number. There was somewhere that you asked for apology. When you there was somewhere that you asked for apology. Basically, it's called parliamentary language. Parliamentary language speaker is when you say, honorable member, can you so that's why it's very important for speakers panel to follow what we call parliamentary language. So honorable member, you are aware that you are out of order on that, and you so say a member will say, honorable member, a speaker, I apologize, and do what? Withdraw. And withdraw. It's a parliamentary language. You apologize, withdraw. 16.
Declaration of interest. On a matter, a member has pecuniary interest, proprietor interest, personal relationship, and business relationship.
You must be able to do a declaration. A member must declare their interest, conflict of interest. And I tell people, I had a good example. There's a day that we were doing the veterans for the CCs. And the CCs for one of the department for finance is my brother-in-law. I found out this is my brother-in-law. is the brother to the gentleman who married my sister, the sister who follows me. And I'm seated there as the chair of appointment committee. And you know the chair of appointment committee, you do the vetting of the CCs. So when it came that, I made a very clear on record to be captured by answer, and I declare that honorable members committee, the CC who is going to be coming here is related to me. And therefore, I will conduct this session, but I will not be doing the voting. So when it came to the voting of do we approve, disapprove, I excused myself. But so that it is on record. So nobody can challenge me in the floor of the house. So if it goes to the floor of the house, it is very clear. Akianguka, akishinda or akianguka, the speaker had made it very clear that this is my relative. And so it's very important you cultivate that culture. Let everybody okay. Sometimes you have an issue with Ministry of Agriculture, and there is a company that did what? That did irrigation. And actually one of the directors is who? Is your sister-in-law as a chair of the committee. So you must be able to declare at the committee. The worst thing is for members to be having knowledge over what you don't want to say. They know the director of this company is your sister-in-law, and they even know by name. And you are seated here in this committee, and no wonder you are not contributing heavily, because you know that without no harm. So it's very, very important you allow members to declare the interest. And any other matter of interest. Number 17.
Responsibility for statements of fact. Personal liability for allegation as a member of us or
As true.
as true.
Very important, you must be able to know that you take personal responsibility for a statement that you make what's called a statement of fact. That is why when you say that this road, the chair of budget is mentioned that the road costed 3 million. I have the contrary opinion, it is 7 million, because you can be able to stand and confirm because of the documents that was approved by the same house, like the budget or ADP.
Substantiation of allegation. Inability to substantiate allegation instantly or by the next sitting without withdrawal or approval is order.
So you must be able to substantiate an allegation. So honorable member, the speaker's panel, you must call upon a member who has made a statement that you think is painting on somebody, they must be able to substantiate. Otherwise, if they don't substantiate, what is the parliamentary language? Withdraw and apologize. Number 16.
Relevancy or reputation. Persistence leads to discontinuation of
Speak by the speaker. Yeah, you cannot be able to, those are some of the basic discipline that ensure that there is no relevance or reputation of the thing. Number 17.
Limitation of debate. Imposition of a limit to duration of a motion or time of speeches.
The standing orders gives specific time sometimes. Remember that sometimes you can be able to agree that can, instead of debating this thing for, especially in a B. So, is it what? Is it second reading and third reading? The second reading and the committee of the whole house and the third reading. You can be able to agree and understand what is allowed to be able to collapse the time so that you can be able to conclude that issue within a sense which period of time. And the last one.
Matters submitted secret, not to be considered or referred to.
Yes, speakers, you know, any matter that is considered to be subjudice, any matter that is in court cannot be discussed in the chair. Next.
Debate on an amendment confined to the amendment cannot be introduced in subject.
Any amendment that is made on any debate should be within the confines of the original debate. You cannot use that amendment to bring something else. If you are discussing white, you cannot amend to bring black. Next.
Reserving rights of speech when seconding a motion by bowing in the direction of the speaker.
Without speaking. You remember that's what we said yesterday? Then, in that one?
Others during proceeding. Speaker maintain order in the assembly while chairperson maintains order
In the committee of the whole house. You remember that? It's very straightforward. Remember the other one?
Disorder in committee of the whole assembly may be censored only by the assembly upon
Upon
a report thereof.
they are all very good, straightforward. Remember the other one? Members remain standing and silent as during the procession into and decision from the assembly. Freezing. When the speaker or a chairperson of committee is licensed, members must freeze and be silent. Resume your seat so that the chair is heard without interruption. Bowing to the speaker at the bar before entry. Chamber when other forms are allowed. Sitting, MCA remain seated. Not stand in the gangways. Obstructing the speaker's view in the house. No passing between the chair, in the chair, and the member speaking, or between the chair and the table. Disorderly, creating actual disorder. Knowing raising the false point. Now, that's what I want to conclude with. Disorder, creating disorder, knowingly raising a false point of order. So now, as I say here, knowingly raise false point of order, using or threatening a violence against a member, persisting in making serious allegations without, in the speaker's opinion, adequate substantiation, otherwise abusing one's privileges, deliberately giving false information to the assembly. That's why we say you must do a substantiation. Voting more than once in breach of the standing order. So voting more than once or speaking more than once. Committing any serious breach of the standing order, acting in any way to the serious detriment of the dignity or orderly of the assembly. Punishment for disorder, order to withdraw, apologize, retract statement. I order you to do what order of a member, withdraw and apologize and retract the statement, or order a withdrawal immediately for presence of the county assembly. That's where now it comes in. And you know, member speaker is what we call naming. Once you have named a member, and you know this, once a member has been named, grace is diminished. You must hear what I'm saying. Grace, yani neema inaisha. The grace is zero. You're operating on zero grace. That is where now this man is no longer your brother. And the manner at which he whisks your way, the right word is whisking your way, is not in a friendly way. It is a manner that suggests that within the next 2 seconds, you are out of the house. One of those is upande hii. Ushaona mtu mwenye anaambiwa usikanyange chini kwa miguu yote, jititoe. Okay? That's where withdrawal from the chamber. And I think I said it. Opio Wandai. You remember Opio Wandai? Opio Wandai was thrown not only within the presence, but the KCC. Naming such member or members using procedure in the standing order upon motion that the honorable name be suspended from the service of the assembly. And you know the procedures of naming. Suspension forthwith from the assembly. Refusal to resort to recourse to force, where the speaker orders such a member to be removed by the Semnar. Member forcibly removed forfeit the rights of access to the presence of the county assembly for remainder of the session. Right for fair and administrative action is allowed. I hope you know that. Ukishatolewa, the standing order mentioned that you will even lose the privilege. The only thing you can is allowed. In case of grave disorder, even if in the assembly the speaker adjourns the assembly forthwith or suspend the sitting for a period to be determined by him or her. When there is a close disorder, the important thing you do, when there is a close disorder, the important thing you do, you adjourn the house. And you may want to adjourn and say indefinitely. Indefinitely can mean even to be back tomorrow. Okay? So that then the members can be able to come down. And the second term and the clerks and everybody should be able to help you. Remember the antennas, up, sound and chill. If the committee of the whole house assembly, the speaker shall resume the chair forthwith and act. Understanding rules of debate enhances a member's effectiveness in where. May I now ask, just before we speak? May I ask, are we on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are we? Where are we? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is below bar, 10 is maximum. Where are we? Toby, where are we? Oh, very good. Eunice? Very good. Toby and Chacha.
8.
Very good. So you know, where there are 2, there is no majority. But when there are 3, there is majority. Then the majority has carried the day. Because if I put the speaker, my word is by putting the speaker, it can be a draw. So I want to avoid the speaker.
I would have not said anything because I've been biased.
I thought so. Yeah. Well,
I would have been biased because I was not here for the start.
I want to believe that the part that we have covered has prepared you adequately to go and adopt it. Speaker, I will ask you then we take break. Then you give me 30 minutes to run through the committees. Or the 30 minutes, the committees. Just, I want to give you an appetite. Just put an appetite. So it's a slide of 10 minutes and I'll be done. Kila mtu aende kwa. One very good. So very good. Sasa appetite. That's the appetite. So sasa hapo sasa mshika. Speaker, I'm seriously, where is Jose?
I wonder why I did it.
Yeah, I think you need to go and take some stern action on speaker. Where is Jose?
What's supposed to do?
So you need to, I think you need to sponsor Jose to look for me,
Okay.
wherever he is. Yeah, honestly, that's not so that he can be at par with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to, Jose, private consultancy. Jose, to just look for us. Would agree, because,
I'll send you this.
yeah, so we can choose, I think, Semnar or Terabot or Serengeti. We will agree. Either Serengeti.
Or you can use chopper in permanent form.
No. I know you cannot afford. So I don't know to punish you. Let it just come to Masai Mara. We have one of our cottages. As a company, we have a cottages. You can get it. And then just give your invoice, sir, and you're done. Very good. I think, Chacha, can I allow you to break so that then we can go for a break? And then I think you have said something. So I may want to see. Then I do that. And then thank you and God bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Speaker. Change.
Yes.
That was very educative. I think we can appreciate him with the clap. Thank you so much. Now, without wasting time, I'll welcome the Speaker to say Jambo to us. Then we shall break for tea. Come back for those few minutes.
Thank you. Speaker, you are given us food.
Yes.
Food to eat and food for thought.
Yes.
We are going to do the best we can to run that assembly in the best way we can so that we don't have language. So far, so good. And with this information and the learning of a few things up and back, I'm sure we're going back to it so that Salome does not harass me. I harass her because of this and that.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I want you to come to Migori. Tuwapatia hata msichana mmoja waende naye.
The bus. So I am loyal, sir. We'll come tomorrow. There are things that we cannot postpone. So I think we can do that. In fact, after science too.
To keep the relationship going, you need